Jobs across the nation and here locally still aren't filled.
Millions of unemployed Americans looking for jobs.
Jobless claims significantly higher.
The long-term unemployed are pushing us to the tipping point.
There are 1.5 million people who are chronically unemployed in the U.S. today. That's 20% of the entire unemployed population who are unable to pursue the American dream. But who are some of these people being perpetually left behind? According to these changemakers at the forefront of the problem, the number includes populations like
people released from prison,
people in recovery, individuals experiencing homelessness.
So we asked them, how do we bring these groups back into the workforce?
We've just left too many people sitting on the bench in the U.S. The misconception is those individuals don't want to work, can't work, or are too risky to hire because of their background. And that's not true.
Today, we'll explore 3 solutions that work to eliminate the seemingly intractable barriers these groups face every day.
If every American business decides to hire one person that not only wanted a job but really needed it, I'm telling you, we could make the most massive difference in this country.
What if they're right? Could solutions like these be the key in ending the labor shortage that employers are facing, while providing pathways for more people to pursue the American dream?
This is Stand Together Presents, stories, ideas, and advice from changemakers tackling our biggest challenges.
Okay, so here's some context. Over 600,000 people exit the criminal justice system each year. At the same time, there are nearly 500,000 open positions in technology in the US alone. That's why Chris's solution, The Last Mile, is focused on building a talent pipeline from prison to Silicon Valley.
In 2010, I committed to do about 30 minutes inside San Quentin in the evening. I thought I'd talk to them, I'd get a bunch of blank stares, and I'd leave. And what happened was, this became one of the most engaged conversations I've ever had. These guys were prepared, they were interested, they had a lot of desire. Some guys had business plans that they'd been sitting on for years, and they finally had someone to show them.
The Last Mile provides a coding boot camp inside the walls of prison, so once individuals have served their time, they have the skills so that they never return.
To be honest with you, Silicon Valley is probably the ideal place for us to start this, because Silicon Valley is all about failure, dusting yourself off, starting over again. The people in the program, this is their full-time job, so they're in the lab at least 30 hours a week. They meet on the weekends, they do their own whiteboard sessions. It's amazing how obsessed they are with this. Today we're in men's, women's, and youth facilities.
And their work hasn't stopped at Silicon Valley. In fact, they've trained over 1,200 people across 7 states, with a 75% employment rate, many landing in jobs at major tech companies like Slack, Zoom, and Samsung. And get this, while 61% of all prisoners end up back in prison, only 4% of the Last Mile's graduates return. But you might be asking, who are the people hiring these overlooked populations? Let's hear from 2 of them. Meet Diane and Rob at Deviate Kitchen in Lexington, Kentucky.
After 10 years of doing business in the restaurant industry, we lost 13 people. Not because we fired them, but because they're dead.
According to Rob and Diane, the high-paced restaurant business can invite unhealthy behaviors and habits.
I would say it breeds addiction, almost.
It's not a great environment to try to be clean, right?
One of our employees in particular went through rehab, and as soon as she started back in the restaurant, she was shooting up again. That really made me go, wow, we gotta do something different.
47 million Americans struggle with addiction. That's why Diane and Rob built a workplace designed for people going through recovery, to keep them in the workforce and not let them slip through the cracks.
Our culture seems to be, I've gotta hide this, and it's not working for us. So we employ 100% of our workforce from people that are in recovery. Instead of hiding everything that you've done in your past, we talk about it. We're conscious of people that have trauma.
No, it looks great.
The employees help each other.
With bi-weekly workshops designed to teach life skills and create a positive work environment for people struggling with recovery, Deviate tackles the problem head-on.
They hold each other accountable. I mean, it makes this business better. As we've gotten to know the people and realize their excellence and they're staying clean, maybe this is one of the answers to the epidemic.
Really, our quest is to take every single customer and turn them into a believer in second chance work environments. We just need to give them a chance.
That chance, according to this social entrepreneur, is something that is rarely given to those experiencing homelessness. That's why she's on a mission to change that.
They're just plagued by stereotypes. We've had individuals come to First Step who have applied for 10, 15, 20 different jobs. But because their mailing address happens to be the local shelter, to just get a job is not really possible.
This is Amelia Nickerson, the CEO of a unique staffing agency in Atlanta, Georgia, that specifically hires the people other staffing companies won't touch. They identify the individual barriers of each person so they can be working within 72 hours or less.
Because what do you do if you didn't have a place to sleep the night before? What do you do if you don't have a bank account? How are you supposed to receive that income?
So what are some of those resources? Housing, food, clothes, transportation.
So First Step connects people to secure housing, daily transportation, banking, and upskilling resources so that they can start working immediately.
They are not looking at you as like a bum or alcoholic or some convict. They're looking at you as a viable worker in the workforce, somebody who's here to progress, somebody who's here to learn.
We have access to a totally untapped workforce. We have a line out the door every single day. They're interested in working and want to work. When they have 3 successful months and they're getting recognized by a supervisor, they're seeing just how much potential they truly have, and it's limitless.
And their solution seems to be getting traction. 70% of people who find work with First Step are still successfully working after 30 days.
We're on a path to try and employ 20,000 people a year because our employer partners see the value in the individual, see potential where they used to see a problem, because we have a highly motivated and a highly supported workforce showing up for them so that their businesses can be successful. At the end of the day, we've just left too many people in our communities caught in a vicious cycle of unemployment, poverty, and the job really does provide that permanent pathway to exit that cycle.
They can be reliable. They can have high standards. And it doesn't take very much extra time for an employer to give someone a chance.
You know, we can set people up, but it's really the people in the program that are a success. You don't even realize the downstream effect that that has on people across the country.
So according to these experts, the key to ending chronic unemployment in America is recognizing the potential and strength of every person in our country. If more employers and industries were to give a fair chance to people exiting the criminal justice system, going through substance abuse recovery, and experiencing homelessness, could it not only benefit the individuals, but also raise up the potential of the entire American workforce? Stand Together partners with changemakers tackling our biggest challenges. To see more stories, follow our channels. And to learn more about how you can partner with us, go to standtogether.org.